Hello, and welcome to another weekly reading. This week sees Mars finally stationing direct, which is a huge relief, but do remember we have the post shadow still for a while, and Venus stationing retrograde, and that is in spite of the fact that we also have the Pisces new moon, and Pisces new moon is the beginning of eclipse season because 2 weeks from this new moon, the Virgo full moon is a total lunar eclipse. So that is going to be a very big one. And this is the instigating week, initiating that season. So deep blue for deep muscular soothing, and deep blue because Pisces is the sign of the big deep blue ocean, and coconut oil to help with massaging it deep into the muscles. Frankincense is just good for everything. And a bunch of mixed stones here, including this really beautiful smoky point. So let's see what this reading gives us. Remember that there are 4 cards. You pick a number between 1 and 4 to get your slightly more personalized theme for the week, but this is a collective reading, and if you're looking for personalized readings, please get in touch with me and see if we can book a session. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, so here are our 4 cards for the week. We have 1 Major Arcana, the Magician, number 1, and it is the only upside down card. We have a Swords, a Wands, a Cups. So in terms of the elements, we're only missing Pentacles. So we kind of start the week swirling with this Magician card. Ideally, the Magician card is where we start to learn to trust in what we have within us and learn to alchemize to our fullest potential, to learn to manifest, to learn to turn lead into gold, whatever that means for you. That's what we start. So it's like this this learning process that happens because it's the first card of the, you can see number 1. However, remember we have a 0 card of the Major Arcana, that is the Fool, and then we step into the Magician. So it's early in the journey and we're just beginning to recognize our potential. Okay, so that is the Magician card, but then you can see, because it was upside down, we're struggling with that, okay? Sorry, I forgot to mention it was upside down. We're struggling with that. We're not really sure how to find our potential. We're lacking the focus of our dreams. We're lacking the passion for our dreams. We're just a bit all over the place. We realize something needs to be done, but we just can't quite get ourselves there. It's a little bit like when you want to start a new diet or a new exercise routine or a new anything really. And there's this motivation, but then perhaps procrastination or whatever the case may be, fear, there is resistance and it just isn't quite working. We can see that part of the resistance from the 5 of Swords is creating this anxiety spiral and an uncertainty of how to get there, and a little bit overwhelmed and in our heads about a thing. And we know that there is this place we could get where we could open ourselves up and be much more trusting and let things flow. But for some reason, there is a deep resistance and uncertainty, a lack of self-trust, and we are rather listening to the crow in our ear or the raven in our ear that is telling us that it's too hard to do, instead of looking at all the other ravens who are saying, well, let's just start flying in that direction and see what happens, okay? And I do think that that's part of the big problem here. But then we have, it's interesting, we go from, I don't know quite how to get to that point, to a difficult card saying I'm up in my head about it, to a positive card, to a challenging card. So the Knight of Wands is the reminder that for me, this might mean that you're yo-yoing a bit this week. If you chose card number 3, then you are in the best possible place for this week. It is a big week. So if you chose card number 3, you're in the best possible place for this week. But if you didn't choose card number 3, you're probably still going to get some card 3 energy going. It just might be in little fits and starts. And even if you did choose card 3, you might have some of the other energy, but not as intensely. So Knight of Wands is, I have my passion, I have my drive, I have my energy, creativity, I'm ready to rumble. But at the same time, we go straight into the 4 of Cups, which is boredom and apathy and emotional overwhelm and very, the low energy and what's the point. And so we're going to be from in our head to super energized to emotionally depleted to maybe super energized, to emotionally depleted, to mentally overwhelmed. So there's a bit of jumping around here. we've had the Four of Cups recently, and I always like to point out how she's looking into the past and she's looking at the 3 empty cups and she's just feeling like, what was all the effort for and what's the point? And she's missing the fact that here, presented by this hand, is this beautiful, full, rainbow-filled cup, which is continuously being filled by the universe. And she's just not ready to see it yet. So there is this strong mix of energies this week. You can see Knight of Wands is facing forward, Four of Cups is facing back. The Five of Swords is facing sort of down and back. So he's in his head, he's in his memory, he's in those places where he's uncertain of, based on past situations. It didn't go well, and that's holding him back from trying again. So I actually think there's going to be a lot of the part of the problem of this week is going to be getting stuck in the past. And that's not to say that our past and our experiences, that what we've learned from past patterns and past behaviors and past experiences is of course important, but it's going to be problematic if it stops us moving forward, because there is a lot of forward momentum right now and it's happening really quickly, which can be overwhelming, can be scary. It's uncertain. The ground beneath our feet doesn't feel secure. And so it's creating the space of, again, the hurry up and wait energy we've been speaking about a lot. Like I've got to have the solutions now. I need to know what I'm doing now, but I don't know what I'm doing. What's wrong with me? I'm too tired and emotionally depleted to carry this on. But this is exciting time in history. Let me do these things. Let me go to those places. Let me try all this stuff. So again, the internal narrative is probably pretty intense, and you probably have a lot of little internal voices in your own head that are seemingly extremely contradictory. And it's which dragon do you feed? Which voice do you encourage? And that doesn't mean don't hear the anxieties. It doesn't mean don't listen to the emotional depletion. You need to let everybody be at the table. Let them have their say, because that's how you get to know what's really going on deep inside of you. If you don't make space for your emotions to have a seat at the table, or for your anxieties and mental chatter to get itself heard, then you can't release it. So, and you don't know which direction to turn to support those parts of you that are really just feeling scared and overwhelmed, largely based on past experience. But of course, you want to encourage the Knight of Wands energy. Yes, we may fail, but let's try anyway. Let's follow our dreams. Let's get excited. Let's be enthusiastic, and still listen to the fears, the anxieties, and the emotional overwhelms. And then that, for me, really will just turn this around, because I think, if you imagine yourself as an apprentice starting a completely new skill, it's all new. And so you have to develop new neural pathways, make new patterns of doing things that you've never done before. And initially it's super overwhelming and none of it makes sense. And you feel completely like filled with imposter syndrome, and that maybe you don't have what it takes, which is the magician, the wrong way up. But if we can tap into that inner knowing, because we do have everything we need within us. We are the ones who have the answers for ourselves. And we've gotten so used to outsourcing. I need somebody else to tell me how I feel. I need somebody else to tell me how I think. I need somebody else to tell me what to do and how to get where I want to be. But we don't go deeply into ourselves. And Pisces is deeply into ourselves, and create that balance. And Pisces is the wise mystic. It's kind of like find your inner Pisces part as the wise mystic, the sage, who is your mentor, so that you can develop your own inner mentor. Anyway, I hope that has been helpful. And I wish you luck on this week. It is a big week. Feel into all the Venus things. Feel into all the Mars things. Venus things are going to be getting more uncomfortable. Mars things are going to be starting to give you a little bit more room. And new moons are seed planting times. This is a very, very strong moon for setting intentions. I did do a forecast on that on my YouTube channel. If you want to understand more about this Pisces new moon, please watch that. I'll drop a link for it below this video. But it is all new moons are good for intentions, but this one particularly so. So make a little time, set a little time aside to focus in on your dreams, so that you can help yourself to see the fears and anxieties, see the emotional overwhelms, but also to get excited and get impassioned and get emboldened as you step into a new cycle, because Pisces is the end of a cycle. So this new moon is the very last new moon for the next 12 new moons, basically. Then we start with next month with Aries new moon. That is a new beginning. So let's jump into this together. And also I will be speaking a lot about the last degrees of Pisces, early degrees of Aries, as these are very, very important this year. And this time it is triggered as well. So I'm going to stop telling you more bits that you can go and watch on that forecast. But I just want to thank you for your time, your likes, your follows, your shares and subscribes, and have a beautiful week.